Yes, good evening everyone. Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. This is DTRS session. So earlier session actually due to power failure, so we could not have the session continued that time. So we are continuing now. And yes, today's lead topic is PraVaHa software. Okay, it has been developed by ISRO and the first MCQ will be based on this topic and other 9 MCQs based on the other 9 important and relevant topics for our examination from yesterday's newspaper. ठीक है, तो let's talk about them. But before that, there is small announcement related to the GS Foundation batch that is going to start from 24th of June 2024 with economy and history modules. Okay, so those who want to join the GS Foundation batch with the credible history of giving the results by institution, Lukmaan IAS is the name, and the faculty here are giving individual attention to the students, and you can join the live session on 24th of June at 11 a.m. for economy session and for history, art and culture at 2:30 p.m. on the same day 24th of June, and see how faculty is guiding you, and you can join this particular GS Foundation batch. You can also join the module wise batches also at Lukmaan IAS. For further information, you can inquire at Lukmaan IAS. Now, daily we are also discussing one quotation which is helping us to prepare for mains examination papers like ethics and essay paper. Also, today is the 5th June, that is, we are celebrating World Environment Day. And the most important, or we can say that a worried factor that we should be concerned at present is the way we are exploiting the nature and in terms of natural resources and the kind of, let's say, consumeristic behavior that we have at present, consumerism. So this is destroying our mother earth. World environment, we are destroying the environment. There is problem of environment pollution, environment degradation through various human activities, especially the fossil fuel consumptions. तो इससे क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हो रहे हैं आपको पता है, ठीक है. इट्स नॉट ओनली लिमिटेड टू ह्यूमन बीइंग बट ऑल द अदर स्पीसीज इन आवर एनवायरनमेंट इकोसिस्टम. नाउ that with that context, the particular quote or caption is basically definition of sustainability by Brundtland Commission 1987. So whenever we read about sustainable development or definition of sustainability, we always talk about the Brundtland Commission because it was the first, let's say, committee or commission at the international level which gave the definition of sustainability or sustainable development. And today also we are let's say considering this as a standard definition. If it is asked in the GS3 paper environment section or even in essay topic, you can quote this particular definition. What it is saying, sustainability means meeting the needs of present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So basically it talks about the intergenerational parity. Now, if we are using all these natural resources in excessive manner, then the next generation, future generations of the human being may not be able to use them for their welfare or even the basic needs, and that can, let's say, threaten the very survival of human species. And that's why the sustainable development or sustainability concept is premised on this definition, meeting the needs of present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet. So that means we need to use all these natural resources like water is there, forest is there, including we can say fossil fuels. All these resources needs to be used in a sustainable manner, and that then only we can say that the future generations will be able to ensure their, we can say, survival on the mother earth. Okay, with that message we will move on to the 10 topics of the day. These are the 10 topics which were in news yesterday, and we will talk about them through MCQs now one by one. What should be answer to this question? Yes. So consider the following statements about PraVaHa software. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? It is talking. Now this PraVaHa software was, let's say, in news recently. It has been developed by ISRO at Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. So what it is talking about? PraVaHa, meaning of PraVaHa, if we talk about, it is the flow. And when we talk about the flow, it can be a fluid. Fluid matlab kya hota hai? Air as well as liquid, or we can say that it is the gases or liquid, both together called as fluids. And those mechanical engineers, those let's say they know about the fluid dynamics, उनके लिए एक पूरा सब्जेक्ट ही था, ठीक है. तो फ्लूइड डायनामिक्स में आप पढ़ते हैं एरोडायनामिक्स इज देयर, फ्लूइड डायनामिक्स इज देयर. तो उसमें क्या पढ़ते हैं हम? laminar flow and all these things. Basically, when any particular rocket is launched, so it is continuously intercepting the airflow, and because of the, let's say, different directions and the way air is flowing in our atmosphere, how it is impacting the outgoing rocket and when it is having re-entry into the atmosphere. With the help of study of that aerodynamics, we will be able to understand what kind of material is required to be developed for these rockets or spacecrafts or the re-entry vehicles, or what kind of, let's say, design should be there. तो ये सारी चीजें जो है ये सॉफ्टवेयर हेल्प करेगा, ठीक है. तो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दैट. इट इज डेवलप्ड बाय इसरो, दिस इज करेक्ट. इट एम्स टू प्रोवाइड हाइड्रोलॉजिकल डेटा एनालिसिस एंड फ्लड फोरकास्टिंग. आपको लग सकता है ये कि सही है प्रवाह की वजह से, बट दिस इज इनकरेक्ट. ओके, इट टॉक्स अबाउट the design and development of different space modules with the help of study of aerodynamics. So this is incorrect and answer will be A here, one only. ठीक है. Now let's talk about next question. Yes. Consider the following statements about World Environment Day. So yes, today only we are celebrating 5th June. Now, why we are celebrating? Because United Nations General Assembly declared 5th June as World Environment Day during Stockholm Conference. ठीक है. तो Stockholm Conference was basically UN conference on environment. ठीक है. तो ये जो है ग्लोबल स्टेज पे ऐसा एक फर्स्ट कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था. यहाँ से आगे देख सकते हैं आप all the developments related to climate change, biodiversity conservation and protection, wildlife protection starts from this conference itself. ठीक है. And that's why the 5th June is considered or declared as one environment day. Since 1973 onwards, we are celebrating this. There is a host country which celebrate, let's say, or gives the message, and there is this theme. Okay, so host country organizes different kinds of events for awareness generation about that particular theme of the year in that country. ठीक है, इस तरीके से हम इसका बेसिक समझ सकते हैं. Now, the theme for 2024 is land restoration, desertification and drought resilience. This is correct, we can say. Now let me tell you how UPSC can take the cue from this particular statement or theme in mains examination also. If for the, let's say, 2024, the theme is land restoration, desertification and drought resilience, then there can be question in GS3 paper and GS1 paper related to geography, environment and disaster management. In geography, they can ask about is drought as a part of natural hazard. In disaster management GS3, they can ask about the drought as a disaster, desertification as a disaster. Already there was question in GS1 geography, desertification. Land restoration, we can talk about the land as a resource and resource conservation or resource distribution. ये सारा चीज part है हमारी GS1 का भी. GS3 में भी हम देखते हैं land degradation is part of environmental degradation. So we can expect question in GS3 environment, disaster management and in GS1 geography this year's mains examination 24 on this theme. Or it can be asked as an essay paper also directly, essay topic. ठीक है, तो इस तरीके से आपको ध्यान रखना है. ठीक है. Now India will host World Environment Day 2024 which will focus on land restoration जो theme है. But this is incorrect. India is not hosting this year. Rather, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, will be hosting this year World Environment Day. So this is incorrect. First and second are correct. So correct statement B is the correct answer. Right? Okay. Moving on. Next. Yes, South Africa. Okay, let's continue. There was a small glitch. So yes, basic question from the mapping part. So whenever you read the world page from the Hindu newspaper, whenever any country is in news, try to see any, let's say, countries in news and immediately see on the atlas. So South Africa was in news, and yes, which of the above mentioned countries share the borders with South Africa? So yes, if we see the map from the northern side or northwestern side, Namibia is there, then the northern side, Botswana is there, northeastern side, Zimbabwe is there, and then there is small country, Eswatini is also there. But Zambia and Tanzania थोड़ा सा नॉर्थ में है, वहां पे डायरेक्ट बॉर्डर नहीं है, तो ये दो कंट्री नहीं है इसमें, ठीक है. एंड देन देयर इज लिशोटो which is completely located within the boundaries of South Africa, ठीक है. तो कंट्री विद इन कंट्री, तो डबली लैंडलॉक कंट्री जिसको बोलते हैं हम, ठीक है. सो लैंडलॉक है, और दूसरी, सॉरी नॉट डबली, इट इज अ लैंडलॉक कंट्री सिंपली वी कैन से. नाउ यहाँ पे देखिए 1 2 3 and 4, सो बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर, बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नाउ यस, सो दिस इज द लोकेशन. यहाँ पे देखिए ये छोटा सा लुशोटो कंट्री है, बोट्सवाना, नामीबिया, जिम्बाब्वे, मोजाम्बिक इज आल्सो देयर, झाम्बिया एंड ऑल द नॉर्थ में है. नाउ Ahilyabai Holkar, yes, the personality from the history, it was in news, so that's why she was the queen of Maratha Malwa kingdom during the 17th century. Now this is factually incorrect. It was, or she was the queen during later half of 18th century, ठीक है, 1760s to 1790s, उस टाइम पीरियड में थे, तो 18th century होता है वो, ठीक है. So this is incorrect. She shifted its capital from Indore to Maheshwar, which is located on the bank of river Narmada, present day Madhya Pradesh. This is correct. She is known for her contribution to construction and renovation of Hindu temples across India. This is true. Okay, her contribution. So two statements are correct. B is the correct answer. ठीक है. तो मध्य प्रदेश के स्पेशली जो टेम्पल्स है, इंपॉर्टेंट टेम्पल्स which were destructed by the Mughal let's say empire, तो उनको रिकंस्ट्रक्ट करने में उनका काफी ज्यादा हाथ रहा है, ठीक है. नाउ basic concepts of inflation, greedflation, reflation and all these things. Let's talk about them. Greedflation follows deflation as policy makers try to pump up the economic activity by reducing the interest rate. Now this is expansionary policy, we can say monetary policy, wherein the reduction in interest rate is then, and because of that the credit is let's say easily available. It is a kind of money creation, we can say that tool. But it is not the greedflation that follows deflation, it is the reflation that follows greedflation. As we see the economic cycle, ठीक है, तो पहले क्या होगा, तो वहां पर हम देखते हैं कि जो डिप्रेशन वाला जो होता है, ग्रोथ, देन देयर इज डिप्रेशन, or we can say reduced economic activity, then there is depression, and again there is, we can say, boost economic. उसी तरीके से inflation and reflation cycles continuous चलते रहता है. So this is incorrect. Now disinflation refers to trend when the inflation rate decelerates. Now this is, we can say that correct. There is a difference between deflation and disinflation. Deflation is basically when the inflation rate is negative, that means it is minus, negative. But disinflation is when the prices are still rising, that is inflation is still there but the acceleration of inflation is slowed down. मतलब क्या है, प्राइसेस धीरे धीरे बढ़ रही है, तो उसको डिसइन्फ्लेशन बोला गया है. Reflation is a profit price spiral when the companies exploit inflation by raising prices excessively. Basically it is the greedflation. It is the greedflation, reflation नहीं है. तो ये टर्म्स इंटरचेंज की गई है. So ये फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड इनकरेक्ट है. So answer is only one, right? Now next, recently seen in news, the Sundhnuka Gigar, ठीक है. तो whatever the let's say pronunciation, you need not to remember, क्योंकि आइसलैंड में जो भी वोल्केनोज है उनका प्रोनाउंसिएशन बहुत ही मुश्किल होता है, ठीक है. Now I have given you hint. Basically this is the volcano recently erupted in Iceland. Iceland is located exactly on mid-Atlantic ridge, and that's why there is divergence of plate boundaries here, and that's why volcanic eruption is very common. What kind of volcanic eruption happens here? The kind of lava, basaltic lava, or shield kind of volcanoes can be found there, ठीक है. तो ये फ्लड बेसाल्ट प्रोविंस टाइप का, या फिर हम बोल सकते हैं शील्ड वोल्केनो टाइप के वोल्केनो मिलते हैं हम. सो बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नाउ मूविंग ऑन. Yes, we have to identify the personality here from the description. Identify the personality. He was the Indian civil servant and the first chief election commissioner of India. Election चल रहा है तो कुछ history भी पता होनी चाहिए. He conducted the first 2 Lok Sabha elections in India simultaneously with the Legislative Assembly elections based on the universal adult franchise. He also served as the chairman of International Election Commission. He was among the first recipients of the civilian honor of Padma Bhushan in 1954. So who was the personality? It was the Sukumar Sen. Recently, one of the biopic was announced, movie announced किया गया इनके personality पे या इनकी life के ऊपर Sukumar Sen. That's why it was in news. ठीक है? So A is the correct answer. Right. Now, Phenome India project. Yes, it was in news and it is related to, we can say that cardiometabolic diseases से related एक study किया जा रहा है. So, this is the project. Joint initiative between CSIR and ICMR. No, it is the sole initiative of CSIR. ठीक है, CSIR का खुद का initiative है. So, overall statement is incorrect. It aims to develop India-specific risk prediction models for cardiometabolic diseases. This is correct. It is first ever pan-India longitudinal health monitoring study focused on cardiometabolic diseases. This is correct. Basically, there will be study of different patients or people from different states and it will create a kind of profile of people. Genome India जैसा project है वैसे Phenome India. Phenology क्या होता है? External body का जो भी हमें दिखता है, ठीक है. Genealogy मतलब genetic वाला जो है, genetic material उसके लिए होता है, right? So how many statements are correct? Only 2 statements. Again, B is the correct answer. ठीक है. Now, 9th question. Preston curve. Yes, one of the sociologists, Preston, he gave this Preston curve by explaining the graphical representation that shows the relationship between countries' per capita income and its average life expectancy. So this graph is basically let's say relationship between per capita, country's per capita income and its average life expectancy. And according to it, basically whenever there is increase in the per capita income level, the average life expectancy also goes on increasing, but at particular time period it will be stagnant. ठीक है, तो उसके बाद वो बढ़ेगा नहीं. Same is applied to India or any let's say other developed countries also. ठीक है, तो इंडिया में अगर आप देखते हैं तो पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस देयर वाज ग्रोथ इन द पर कैपिटा इनकम एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द एवरेज लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी ऑलमोस्ट डबल्ड. तो बट इसके बाद जो है बहुत धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहा है ना, बट पर कैपिटा इनकम तो बढ़ रहा है. तो दिस इज हाउ द प्लेट्यू स्टेज विल कम, especially when we can say that one of the reason is like human cannot live let's say permanently on the earth surface. ठीक है, ऐसा भी नहीं है ना कि ह्यूमन की लाइफ जो है हमेशा 100 साल के ऊपर हो, तो वो भी एक रीजन हम बोल सकते हैं. बट देयर इज लेट्स से काइंड ऑफ रिलेशन, सोशियोलॉजिस्ट हैज गिवन दिस रिलेशन. ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नाउ द लास्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर द डे. यस, इकाद डिजाइन. ठीक है, so basically ICAD design is a kind of unique design. It has been indigenous Indian design developed by in the period of Gupta. No, the design is basically originally developed in some of the Southeast Asian countries like Cambodia or Vietnam or Myanmar, Laos. वहाँ पे इसका origin है. Yes, it is true that it was mentioned in the Buddhist Lalit Vistara Sutra and Ajanta caves murals. So it is reflected there also, this design. Patan's Patola from Gujarat is known for its double ikat and received GI tag in 2023. This is also true. Again, 2 statements are correct. So B is the correct answer about this. Art and crafts और art and culture जो आपका syllabus का बात, इस तरीके से दिख सकता है आपको ये इकात जो डिजाइन होता है. ठीक है. All right, these were the 10 MCQs for the day. Lastly, there is small announcement related to GS Foundation batch for let's say which is going to start from the 24th June. Earlier I told you economy module as well as let's say history module is going to start. Along with that, the GS2 and GS4 paper modules are going to be started after prelims examination. For those let's say students who want to join these modules which are taught by S. Ansari sir himself, तो आप Lukmaan IAS पे inquiry करिए. Along with that, the test series, GS Men's test series program is going to start at Lukmaan IAS, which is very famous, and you can ask your seniors who have given mains examination the quality of questions, the way we frame questions